Hello, Libra, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of May 31st through June 6th. I was thinking about the date there for a second. And on the 31st is when we have the full moon. So that is a time of heightened emotions. You might feel a little overwhelmed or anxious. You might be a little snappy or irritable. You might be full of energy like I am, or changes in your sleeping pattern. That can go either way as well. It is a good time to release any resentment and fear that you may have going on and practice patience and calm, or just use that energy if you're one of those people that gets super hyper energized like I do. So pay attention to that. We then have the waning gibbous that comes in for the rest of the week, and that is a time of self-reflection and rebirth that you get to calm down a little bit and make positive changes and definitely get rid of bad habits and negative thinking and just work positively towards those goals and aspirations that you set for yourself during the new moon. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Libra. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is prosperity lies ahead. Well, isn't that a nice card to have? Fun when prosperity is on the horizon there. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder for you this week, Libra, is that you try to get out in nature a little bit. So, we've got, for us anyway, the warmer weather coming in with that full moon, and even, the nights after where the moon is still really nice and big. It's just a great time to be outside enjoying the weather if it's warm and nice where you are. Also, just a good time to take a walk, get in the woods. Just kind of get somewhere where you can quietly listen to birds or nature, or hear fish flopping around in the lake. That could be fun. Or if you're near the ocean, if you're that lucky, make sure that you're not taking advantage of the fact that you can go there and listen to waves, because the rest of us would love to be doing that. So just find a way to get out at some point this week and just really connect with nature. So that is my fun weekly reminder for you this week, Libra. All right, let's get into this reading. May 31st through June 6th. Prosperity lies ahead, and your present energy right now is the Hanged Man, who I've seen quite a bit during this series of readings. So, some sort of new perspective that you have right now, and that's never a bad thing. Sometimes that comes from something you've observed or recently learned, and it just kind of switches your perspective a little bit. So you're looking at things a little differently. Let's see what that might be. Your current situation right now is the Sun card. So prosperity lies ahead, the new perspectives. The Sun, maybe you've just got something going on that's really moving you in a positive direction. You could have had some recent changes come in, and life changes a little bit, and you're happy about it. Like, sometimes it's a little scary. I know there's been a lot of changes. I really feel like at the beginning of the month of May, a lot of people that I knew had job changes and schedule changes and just things kind of just switching around. And sometimes that's very scary. But once you start to get into the routine of things, you're just happy. You're like, oh, okay, those were actually good changes. So I hope that's the case for you. At the root of your situation is the Five of Pentacles. So a little bit of feeling a little bit like an outsider. And maybe that was the prompt for this new perspective. Maybe I call this the comparison is the thief of joy card. Hopefully, if you were comparing yourself somewhere, you have now stopped doing that and you're taking on a new perspective. We are all where we are for whatever reason, and comparing yourself to others it's just not a good thing to do. So if it's something you're feeling like an outsider because of that, there could be any other reason. You might be, feeling on the outside of a friend group, or a little bit, disconnected from family for some reason. Sometimes that's about communication and that sort of thing. So make sure there's no miscommunications going on. But it is the root of your change here, of your new perspective, and for being very happy. So maybe you're okay with feeling like an outsider. Could be. In your recent past here is the Justice card. Yeah, so maybe some sort of truth has come to light. That is typically what happens when you do have a Hanged Man card. It's that something has come to light that you didn't know before. It changes your perspective, and again, maybe you're happy about it. And you've got the Sun card. It's the happiest card in the deck. You're happy about this new perspective. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. That changes everything, right? On your mind this week is the Nine of Swords here. So a little bit of anxiety, about something. And maybe it is about this feeling like an outsider for some reason. And I'm not seeing even where this might be with the cards that are coming up here. We've got three major arcana. It doesn't really help me have a direction, in what area of your life this might be. But there might be some sort of anxiety or sleepless nights. But it's almost like I'm feeling like telling you it's okay. It's okay. Whatever you feel like you're being anxious over, it, prosperity does lie ahead. And let's focus on this happiness. And if you're just, you could have these sleepless nights again because of the full moon approaching and being there. And if that's the case, get up and be productive. Get up and read a book, just do something. I find this that I literally will have a little sliver of moonlight come into my curtains. This happens almost every full moon cycle. It's just outside my window where the bed is. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm wide awake." And I'll look at the clock and it's like 2 in the morning. Okay, well, I'm wide awake. Let's get up and do something. So, if that's the case, it could just be, what's going on with the planet right now, with the moon cycle, that sort of thing might just be keeping you up at night. So, get up and be productive if you're so inclined to do that. What is just ahead of you this week is the 10 of Wands. So, definitely pushing through with some sort of ending. And usually, endings make space for beginnings. So if you've got this new perspective, it's because something is ending and changing for you. And now you have new space to have this new perspective. Again, it could be a schedule change. There's been a lot of that going on with everybody this month. What is in your advice position here is the Knight of Cups. So to keep an open mind, move forward into this week with open heart, open emotions, be open to the people around you, listen to people, connect with people. So that is your advice this week, is that, maybe some of this anxiety can be quelled by that. And maybe also this feeling of feeling like an outsider can also be quelled just by open and good communication. What is beyond your control this week? Ace of Wands. Perfect. So here comes the Ace of Wands just as a new passion and a big yes on something. So something is filling this space. Again, if it's this new perspective, if it's this new take on something, it could just be that something comes into your life that you're like, oh, I love that. And it could be just the change in the seasons. I'm like that with, when the seasons change and summer comes, my whole life changes, my schedule changes, and I'm trying to get outside as much as I can. Just be in the sun. I try to get out there early in the morning and catch the sun. And I hate coming in the house when I have to actually do things and do chores that are in the house. I want to try to do things at night. Sometimes when I can't sleep, I'll get up and make sure that, the laundry's done or the dishwasher's done or whatever needs to be organized, grocery list, all those house things that you have to do. If I'm up in the middle of the night, sometimes I'll get up and do those things so that I can afford myself more time outside, where that's my passion in the summer, is just being outside in the really awesome weather. All right, what is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Seven of Pentacles. So is it your secret desire to kind of wait for this harvest to come in? You've planted some seeds in the past, and there's really nothing you can do except kind of wait for those things to happen. Or are you trying to avoid waiting for a harvest, or are you trying to avoid wondering about those seeds that you've planted? And this could come in the case of people. I know this is a card of Pentacles, which is typically, money and material things, but I've seen this card recently in someone's life that they were having an issue. It was actually, they were just stranded out of state and their car was broke down. And they had planted the seeds to have other people jump to go and help them. So sometimes, when we are helpful, those things do come back to us tenfold. So ask yourself, is it your secret desire to kind of, just be patient to wait on those seeds that you've harvested? Or are you trying to avoid having that patience? So that's a question you need to ask yourself this week. What is in your outcome position is the Page of Swords. So through all of this, you come out with a new way of thinking, a new way of communicating. There's something that's just going to be very new to you and you're going to get through these struggles, I believe, with the gifts that are around you, with this truth that comes in, with having an open heart. Again, if you go to people, if you feel like there's some misunderstanding, it's really best just to go right to the source, of where the misunderstanding is. If it's something where you're feeling like an outsider, sometimes it's just a miscommunication. Also, with that anxiety, it could just be that you're overthinking a little bit too much on something, and you need to communicate and give yourself a break, right? What is hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck, Libra, is any sort of celebration really this week with the Four of Wands. That doesn't look like that's on the agenda. I feel like a lot of your week is probably spent in more internal thought than it is socializing a whole lot. I don't see a lot of just kind of social things. These are all cards that are really focused on you wondering how you're feeling and what's going on with you. But I think if you work on all of these things, remember that your overall is that prosperity lies ahead. So if you're kind of feeling, like waiting on this harvest, it could be that something is about to come to fruition for you. And if you're feeling like an outsider, the same thing. It could be that there's some prosperity that's maybe not quite there yet, but it sounds like it's on its way. All right, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Libra as they are waiting for this prosperity to come in. Take the lead is the card that comes up for you. So in whatever case that might be, and I think this might have to do with this, again, communicating, taking the lead for misunderstandings, at least just reaching out and talking to people. Sometimes that's just the easiest way to clear things up. Most things are a misunderstanding. So let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Libra this week. Self-care for Libra. And the card that comes up for you is the card that says calm. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. I mean, I feel like all of these breakthrough things that might happen. So again, communicate, be open about something, but something comes in that's beyond your control this week for something to come in that you do love and you do feel very passionate about. And I think that's very positive. And your overall general is that you are very happy. So, even when we're happy, there's these little things that go on around us and little dramas and things. Tarot cards and, tarot readings happen for a week, but life goes on, the week before and the week after. So if there's any kind of drama like that, again, just go directly to the person that it involves and try to clear it up. Just have an open-hearted conversation. So Libra, thank you so much for being here. I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below and let me know if anything resonated or if you had questions. I'd be happy to answer those for you as well. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe is so helpful to me. So thank you so much for doing that. I do appreciate you. Most importantly, it'll help you find me next week where you can come back and let's see where this energy goes. So thanks so much for being here, Libra. Good luck, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.